Smart Solutions. Add-on desires.
Welcome to Added Solution. This is Kranti Kumar, Department of Science. I am here with an interesting topic, that is energy. In this chapter, we will discuss about what is meant by energy, where we can see the energy, the term energy. Whatever we took like food materials, we eat food material. What purpose we are eating food material? So obviously the answer is to do work, isn't it? To do work we are eating. So to do work like to read, to listen, to sleep, or to walk, to run, okay, so to dress up, like, so for any activities what we require, energy is required. For that purpose we are eating food, okay. So we are eating food to do work, that is called energy. In this chapter we'll discuss about the types of energies, what are the types of energy, and can we see how many types are there and how many energies are there. Let me discuss with a simple image. See, so with this simple image, with this simple picture, some questions were given. So first observe the picture. Bullock cart, okay. So a person is traveling on the bullock cart while carrying the goods. Auto rickshaw, this is auto rickshaw and it's a bicycle rickshaw. And bullet, bike, bicycle, okay. So the thing which is made by a rickshaw. And train, here also train, and here it is motor car. Some questions were given regarding to this picture, okay. So let me see. Name the vehicles in the picture. How do they run? So we had given the names and how do they run. In the first one, the first bullock cart run by the oxes, isn't it? So by certain animals, we are using certain animals to move them, to move that bullock cart vehicle. Then bicycle, okay. Here the man is cycling so that it is moving. Auto, okay. Motorcycle, car, train works on the diesel or petroleum. While pouring petroleum, there is a motor vehicle. So these will work on the fuels like diesel, petroleum. By pouring petrol or diesel, these are working, okay. So while in the bicycle, the persons, okay. So these students are cycling. See, what is the needed for operating cars? What is needed operating cars? What are the needed things to operate cars? So fuel is essential for operate the cars. Motorcycles, vans and autos. So all these are motor vehicles only. These requires diesel or petrol, isn't it? So fuels are required to work these motor cars. To work these motor vehicles. And there are two trains in the picture. Which fuel does the first train run on? Which fuel does the second train run on? See, in the first train and second train, did you observe any difference? See, the first train, on the first train we are seeing the wires, electric wires. So the first train works on the electricity. By using electricity, the first train is running. The second train, diesel. So the second train runs on the diesel, works on the diesel. Okay, that is the difference between first train and second train. First train works on the electricity. So electricity wires are attaching to the train seat, so that it works on electricity. While in the second train, diesel, they are using diesel. Burning of coal also, by burning of coal it runs. So in ancient days, the train works by burning of coal, okay. So let me see what is a definition. So here, energy is needed by humans and machines work on by vehicles to move. So what is the needed thing? Energy is the needed. So simply we can say that to do work we require energy. So energy needed by humans and machines work and by vehicles to move. Let me see. What do these need? So first one, electric fan, generator, chillies, battery, a torch light, okay, burning stove, right? By burning wood they are cooking, and here the stove, cylinder stove and iron box. What are the things in the pictures above? What are the things? So we had already given the names for all the things. What does a fan need to rotate? What does it needed? Electricity. It needed electricity. Simply we call it as current. What does a torch need to light? Here also it needs cells. Cells. So what is inside the cells? Chemicals. Chemical energy converted into electrical energy. So here also electricity is required. And how are chilies dried? So here the chilies are dried by sunlight, isn't it? So they kept on the floor by observing sunlight just to dry up. How does an iron box get heated? How does an iron box get heated? So by burning the coal which are inside the iron box, it heats up. It heats up, isn't it? So here, how does an iron box get heated? By burning coal. By burning coal. Right? So every material needs some electricity or sunlight or chemical energy, batteries or burning of coal. Here see, by burning of wood they are cooking. Burning of wood they are cooking. Here what is the required thing? So to burn the stove, kerosene is required, isn't it? Kerosene. Here to work generator, diesel is required. Diesel. So we call it as fuels. Kerosene and diesel are the fuels, isn't it? So by these things can work. Let me see next. What are the different stoves seen in the pictures above? So first one is cylindrical stove, isn't it? So gas stove which require LPG gases, which needs LPG gases. And one more stove is there that works on kerosene, isn't it? Kerosene gas is required. And the second one is gas stove which required LPG gases, LPG or methane gases. Some gadgets need electricity, some depend on solar energy, and some other need fuels. Already I had told. To work diesel, to work generator, diesel is required, isn't it? So those are called fuels. To work burning stove, to burn the stove, kerosene is required. One stove required kerosene, one stove required LPG. So to get the energy needed for them to work, so to work, energy is required. For that, these are the essential things. So here energy is the basis for all operations. Energy is the basis for all operations, work and movements. Work and movements. Energy is the best. Energy is the basis for all operations, work and movements. Next, see energy resources. Energy resources. Energy is obtained from different sources like the sun. Energy is, we are obtaining energy from the sun or wind or water, petrol, diesel, kerosene gas and coal gas. So we had seen in the pictures, dry chilies were wet. Okay, so chilies kept in the presence of sunlight, which it requires. Sunlight is required, isn't it? So like that, sun, wind, water, petrol, diesel, kerosene. So these are the sources. These are the sources. Among these, petrol, diesel, kerosene, gas, coal, water, etc. deplete when used repeatedly. When used repeatedly, what will happen? these things exhausted. We cannot see those things while using repeatedly. But by using sunlight, what will happen? That is in abundant, infinity. So using of sunlight, today we can use so much of, we use 2 hours of sunlight. Even tomorrow also we can use 2 hours of sunlight. Nothing will happen. That is not exhausted. So here 2 types of resources are there. The first one is when used, okay. So the first resources deplete when used repeatedly. Resources like sun, wind will never get exhausted. Resources like sun, wind will never get exhausted. So 2 types of resources are there. The resources, first resources are exhausted and the second resources are not exhausted. Let me see what the name given to the first one and second one. The need for energy resources is increasing day by day with an increasing in the energy consumption. This is very important. The need for energy resources is increasing day by day with an increasing in energy consumption. Why? Because the population is increasing. So everyone using the resources. Everyone has to use resources like the vehicles are, the population increases, the motor vehicles increases, so that consumption of petrol and diesel increases. Isn't it? So consumption of energy also increases as increasing the resources. As increasing the resources, consumption also increases. Right? What is the reason? Population, increasing of population. Non-renewable resources. Let me see. Energy that comes from burning fuels is called fuel energy. Burning the fuel, we can get energy. The type of energy is called fuel energy. Coal, kerosene gas, petrol, diesel, etc. are fuels. Why? Because burning these, we can get energy. So that these are fuel energy. And the energy obtained by burning these fuels is used to generate electricity. Like we had seen in the generator. What is the thing needed running the generator? Diesel is required or kerosene. So to generate electricity. In transportation, all the vehicles are taking petrol or diesel. In operating the various machines, diesel is required or kerosene. So in industries and cooking in the houses, fuel energy or required. And see, these fuels are extracted from the earth. Where do we get these fuels? From the earth only. We have to extract these fuels from the earth only. Then is it sufficient to all? No, it is not sufficient to all. So to make these fuels, it requires lack of years. See, trees and animals which remain buried for lakhs of years. Trees and animals which remains buried for lakhs of years inside the earth ultimately transform into fossil fuels. So how can we get fuels? So this is the reason. After death, trees and animals, after death of animals and trees, they buried into the earth. Okay, so while for lack of years, nothing but within the earth, just they changed into a solid one into liquid one into gases. Okay, like that, by applying certain pressure within the earth crust, what will happen? Space will not available within the earth crust, so that pressure is high on those materials. So by the pressure, those contents converted into liquid state. The solid can be converted into liquid state. So we can extract like as fuels. We can extract them like as fuel. So it takes how many years? Lakhs of years to convert that solid into liquid like as a fuel. It takes lakhs of years. So see, these are the plants, and after buried, they form like a peat. Then after, by applying, within the pressure, so pressure is increasing within the earth crust, so heat, it converted into lignite. lignite converted into coal. You can observe the black color, green color, red color, coal. Okay, by applying so many years, coal can be converted into, from the coal we can extract petrol, diesel, like that. Okay, so in this process we are extracting the fuels. So it takes lakhs of years to extract, to form a fuel, it takes lakhs of years. It will take lakhs of years for these fuels to form. Instead of wood, natural gas must be used. Instead of wood, natural gas must be used. Nowadays, gobar gas is produced from dung. So this is natural resource. Gobar gas produced from dung. So by pouring dung into the hole, like by applying certain pressure, the dung can be converted into gases. We called it as gobar gas. So with that also we can cook. We should save petrol and diesel as much as we can. Reduce the use of fans, which requires electricity. Why? Because these are called as non-renewable resources. We cannot get them. They are exhausting. So instead of using electrical appliances for household work, we can do the work ourselves manually and save the fuel resources. So whenever we have to work, so nowadays all the means and all the human beings are trying to work on the machines which requires electricity. So just he suggested that we can do the work so ourselves manually and save fuel resources. So if is there any work to do with us, just do with us. I mean, just do with your hands and legs. So don't use machines like to consume resources. The next.
Add-on solutions. Add-on desired.